got this time.
Go.
Good afternoon. I'm Doris Hall James,
And I'm Gilbert Lomax Jr.
and we're here today. We're here today to welcome you to the first International R&B Music Day celebration.
Yes, it's a great celebration, a
Yes,
great
it
day.
is.
And Doris Hall
Yes.
James with Simply Music went out and invited a lot of local artists to give their opinions and express their opinions
Yes.
on this day and how they feel about it. Because there were so many of them that she brought in, I didn't want to make it all, well, excuse me, we didn't want to make it one long video for you.
Yes.
So we broke it up into episodes. That way you can pick and choose which one that you want to see. And
We want to thank you for your support. You've supported us, and we really needed that support, and we thank you for that. Now, what we would like for you to do is now sit back and enjoy. This is R&B Day. Sit back and just enjoy, because the best is up next.
yes, it is.
Mary Cross, is that you?
Me, I'm in a living color.
Oh my God, you look so great. It's so good to see you again.
You look wonderful as well.
Oh.
It's always a pleasure. Always great to see you, Doris. I love you so much.
I love you too. And I always ask other people, how are you doing? Like, I know you're going to be at Wilson's.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
It's March 19th.
March 19th is
Right.
my second time there, my sophomore performance. Yeah. And I'll
How
be
you
back
got
on May 7th doing a Phyllis Hyman tribute on the 7th of May.
Okay. So you're going to go there doing different artists? Is that what you're doing?
Well, no, I think it's kind of like I've been blessed with the opportunity to actually do shows on a regular basis. So based on my schedule, I kind of like pick certain things. So I thought that it would be good to do a lot of classic soul R&B, but then I wanted to not come back with the same show.
So this day.
Yeah, so I wanted to do the Phyllis Hyman tribute.
Yes.
Well, I had so much overflow since we had sold out the show for January 29th that then was February 6th. And then there was overflow from that. And then March 7th sold out because it just, God, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing. God bless me that way.
Yeah,
And,
that's, I better have my tickets now. I
I'm
have my tickets. I have them right here.
so excited. Yeah, so then from that, with the March show, we were thinking, okay, well, since we were going to do some different stuff, but also a lot of the same stuff for those who were coming back or those who wanted to see it. And then for May 7th, I decided, well, why not do a full Phyllis Hyman tribute musical night, just all Phyllis. And then from there, we're going to maybe do an acoustic thing later on in the year or something like that. But I wanted to introduce people to different things, that different artists and different music. And it's so important to me to keep the music alive and relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can do any artist. So you can just look through and say, I'm going to do this artist next week and this one next month, because you do it all. You've been really blessed to be able to do that. So any show you put together would be awesome. See, I don't like to come back to see the same show over and over again. I always want to see some new stuff going on.
Right, exactly. I feel the same exact way. I was like, man, you can't. I just think that it's, to me, I've seen even celebrity artists that I've gone and seen a show, and then the next year I come back and I'm like, that's
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I feel cheated a little bit. And I think that it's important to constantly evolve and just figure out how you can do something that's beneficial to the audience. Everything we do is about inspiring people, so it's all about the people. And we love having them engaged and singing along. So all that matters to me. It's beyond anything that people could pay you for. You can't pay for that. It's a magical moment. It's an experience, really.
Well, that's really great. That's really great. Because I've been to shows and I could tell the next song that was coming on before they sang it. Because it's the same show, right? So here comes so-and-so. So that's really good. That's really good. That's really good. So what do you think, Mary, about the R&B Day that's coming up March 5th? What do you think?
I think that is so amazing, long overdue,
Long
and an
overdue.
exciting thing for all of we, the artists, whether you're an indie artist and from whatever genre of music that you do profess to sing or love. I think it's a wonderful thing that we all can celebrate. It's necessary for
It's
sure.
necessary.
To
Yes.
have an opportunity like this to see that there is a day set aside for R&B music. That's like unheard of. It's amazing.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? And, like going back like 1950, 60, 70, all those things, we never had a day. We never had a day. But I was really not aware of that because to me, every day was R&B. When, that's all I mean. But when we looked it up, like on the internet, there was all kinds of days, but not for R&B. I said, wow.
Well, I'm glad somebody was thinking on their feet and paying attention.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I didn't know there wasn't a day either until this whole opportunity came up and you mentioned it. I was thinking, wow, we didn't have one?
Like R&B.
Like that seems crazy, right? R&B is like the thing that the knitted fabric of what brings us all together. And you mean
Yes.
we don't have a day? Like, what is that?
Yeah. But so we have this day, March 5th, and I assume that a lot of people doing different things. And here at Simply Music, what we decided to do was do videos and interview people for 10, 15 minutes and get their feedback and feel their excitement, the excitement that they're going to generate from having this day. So that's how we're going to do it together. We probably have like episode 1 and episode 2 because we have so many people. Everybody wanted to be involved. It's killing me, but I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. So let's talk about your musical history, your journey. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the journey started when I was 12 years old, and some of my friends said I could sing, and I thought I can't sing, and they were like, "No," I was mimicking Captain and Tennille singing "Love Will Keep Us Together," but they were saying, "No, you can sing." So I ended up going to church with a girlfriend of mine from the neighborhood, and then I joined the choir, and that was like my introduction to gospel. But then from that, I found that I loved all types of music. I used to listen to all those stations that had played everything from Captain and Tennille to, any Gladys Knight and all that. So for me, it was never limiting anything or putting it in a box. But, you always have a love for R&B music. So for me, it was like more than just singing a song. It was like I really loved just everything about music and how it could come together. And so from 12 on, I just always sang in church. And then in my 20s, I thought, well, I really would like to pursue something that has to do with, R&B music. And that's kind of like how I fell into just singing and doing other stuff, but never on a major basis. I just really did it because I love the music. And then eventually I started putting together my own shows because I'd go to hear talent and they were doing bands that played a lot of Mustang Sally and other stuff. But no offense to those who do play that. But it was like you always want to hear something else. I don't want to hear what everybody else is doing. They're all doing the same songs. It's like a lot of that going around. And I don't know if that's because people don't want to commit to learning new material or if they just want a jam session. But that neither of those were what I was trying to do. I really wanted something different. And I wanted to sing music that I loved and I could relate to. And that, of course, is how it all came about when I started putting a band together to just do shows. I wanted to do my own shows that it just turned into, what do you love? I love Gladys Knight.
Love
all these different artists. Yeah, absolutely. And these artists they have such great music that's timeless and they have messages. Nancy Wilson used to say a song has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And one thing about the songs from yesteryear, when you think about all the R&B that's out here, from the Stylistics to Smokey Robinson and the others, they always had a way of telling a story and you related to it. And the love songs, I mean, goodness gracious. I remember the blue light down in the basement. I remember all that stuff. It was so great because love meant something. When you fell in love with a girl and you said, that's my girl, be my girl, be my girl, be my girl. It's like, oh my God. Wasn't a lot to it, but it said a lot, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I found that those kind of things were the things you cling to and that you feel like you relate to. And it always draws you back in. And I just love the idea of how much we could put into music, as far as R&B artists and that kind of thing. So for me, it's just about that's part of the journey that makes it develops us as an artist and also as a person, because you're interwoven, all that music's interwoven into who you are, and it just is a major thing to be able to identify with that, and you celebrate that. So for me, after the band started and other things, and then people say, oh, you should have your own music instead of singing these cover songs. Honey, them cover songs is doing real well. You don't necessarily have to do nothing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, it's great to have original material. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying that I love the other songs so much, and music serves as a time machine. It takes people back in time to a moment. When you hear that song, it takes you back.
Memories.
Yes, the memories. And you can't buy that. That is something that you have from your experience with that music and those songs. So that's kind of like the power that we all have as artists to actually give to other people. And that's why I say when I have a performance, it's more of an experience, because I want you to go with me on the journey. Don't just stand there and watch me. You be a part of that, because if you spent your hard-earned money and you decided to come to somewhere where we were performing, I want it to be because you say, I really know that we're going to enjoy ourselves tonight. And not only that, I can be a part of this moment in time. And really, they could have went anywhere else and they chose to be here with you. So that really matters. And that's kind of like how it all started for me. And so I before I recorded songs, I did shows, and I did shows because I loved R&B. And so when you think about it full circle, now we're back, and I've recorded some music, and I've done that. And I still have a love for a lot of cover songs that are songs that people, some have forgotten. I mean, I do Rocking Chair by Gwen McCrae. You think about the song, many people don't even do that song.
Rocking Chair.
The song takes stuff. People love. Ooh, Lord. We got something for it. You come to a show of mine, you're going to have a good time.
All right. And so we want people to get there. I don't know if they can get there March 19th, because I think it's
sold out.
Sold out, right?
Yeah,
and the next one is May
7th. Yes.
May 7th.
And that's going to be a musical tribute to the music of Phyllis Hyman. So that should be.
And where is that?
That's also going to be at Wilson's, which is in Hynella, New Jersey, right off of Warwick Road. You can't miss it. And it's called Wilson's Live Music. And it's owned by Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Mamie and Mark Wilson. And it's a beautiful venue.
Isn't it beautiful there?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. Yeah. So you'll have a good time. You come on there. You come to any act that's performing, and you'll get some great music.
And you get some good food, too.
And great food. Great Louisiana menu. Yes, indeed. You will enjoy yourself immensely, surely.
So you don't want to miss her next performance, May 7th at Wilson's. Right. You don't want to miss that.
You don't want to miss that. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. You probably answered it, but I want to ask you a question anyway. What kinds of things are you doing to keep R&B alive?
Oh yeah, I think it's so important to introduce to the new this new group of people that are coming along. I don't know if they're millennials. I don't know what you call them now. But I think it's important to introduce them to that music, because a lot of times they'll sample the music of R&B, but they don't really know the derivatives behind it or how it started. And I think that that's so important to me as an artist and as someone who loves and grew up on that music, that they understand the concept or what's behind it, or an artist did more than one song that you might be familiar with. You should know more about them. Like a lot of people may not have ever heard of Gwen McCrae. Or so many others like Betty Wright, whom we love. Oh my God.
Betty Wright,
so that was R&B. I mean, it's classic music, but it was so good, and it told stories, and it made you feel like you were a part of something, and it also connects with you and how you grew up and things that you remember, your memories. So I think that all the things that we do in the music that we perform is about an experience. And again, it comes back to introducing to some and reminding others of just how great that era was. Great music, man, I'm telling you.
It was great music. I worked at my career. I was a principal, and I had kids, running around the school, and it was like they stayed on campus, and they would, one little kid, he had a, little radio and stuff, and he would be walking around school singing all kinds of, he would be singing like, Papa got a brand new bag, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, where did you hear that from? I mean, because he's young, And so he said, well, Miss Hall James, my mom and dad played that music all our lives. And basically, That's all we know. And he would be singing all things about the Spinners and Dionne Warwick. He would be singing everything. To this day, you know, he was from Philadelphia, and I think I was at a school in West Virginia, but he was originally from Philadelphia. To this day, he still keeps me abreast of the old school music.
Oh, wow, that is so awesome.
His name is Henry Patterson, and I guess he may be 28, 29 now, because he was a kid. But did you hear this? Did you hear this? You know, he's still keeping abreast. So the parents can say to the children here, you know, this is a song from a long, long time ago.
Exactly. And one of the things we find, I remember my husband used to always say, if you find a need, you can make great money at it when you are fulfilling that.
Yes.
And in that, I say that, you know, when we think about Bruno Mars just took our style from it and put a twist on it and gave it to us as a gift with a bow on it in his own interpretation. And that in and of itself is amazing. And that's why he's done so well.
Yes.
He's talented. He is a definite full package. But, you know, he's doing music that reminds us of what we used to hear. Young people today don't realize that it's from back in the day. But that sound is definitely our music.
Yeah.
R&B from back in the day. And I think it's wonderful and a great compliment to, you know, the artists.
To the artist.
Doing that. Absolutely. But you can't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's a lot of music in the world. But I know one thing, he made his very well off of being able to do what he did with, you know, being on it. And it just goes to show that everything old becomes new again and that people still love what we have. I think, you know, I can't say for sure, but it seems like my shows have been selling out since last March of 2021.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't have a bell to ring, but congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I think many of it is when people come to the show and they hear that music, like we do Burt Bacharach songs that were by Dionne Warwick and others. So people miss that. They do. They're like willing to lean in and listen to what you have to say or your interpretation of something. And it is the greatest compliment when people want to hear what you have to render. And I find that for me, it just makes me feel even more passionate about it and excited. And when you have band members that are just as excited as you are and they want to go along for the journey, and we all have the same vision, and the mission statement is to inspire you. So the band name was not a mistake. Everything about it is about the goals we have, which is to always inspire people by what we say, what we do, being involved, you know, like we've done a lot of stuff with nonprofit organizations, be it for mental health community or the youth as well as seniors. So that's something near and dear to our hearts.
Well, I want to thank you, personally thank you, as I have done so many artists, for your contribution to the music industry, for keeping it going, because R&B that's all I know. I do some gospel too. I love gospel too, but R&B is close to my soul. And when, you know, like when I don't do it, like I like to create, I like to write. And I was telling my partner Gilbert, I said, I have so much in me. I've got to write a song. I tell a story through a song, you know? And I just want to let you know, just keep on going, telling those stories, giving us more and more, because we need that. We need that. And I want to thank Cliff Perkins, you know, for putting in and getting us this R&B day, and all his staff for doing this for us. I just want to give them praise and honor, because without them, you know, we wouldn't have gotten to this point. And what we're going to do at Simply Music, you know, Simply Music is the founder, and then we have the DHJ Indie Show, which we interview all of you precious artists. Do you know I've interviewed like 150 artists?
Have you? Oh my God, that's amazing. What a milestone.
150. And I was so tired that I had to take a break. We've been doing it for 3 years, and we used to do it every single week. And to schedule all those artists and get them in. That's
an hour each show, wasn't it?
Yeah, an hour each show. It's over 150, like 152 or something like that. But we're trying to get them in the archive, you know, because some of the interviews are the last ones that we see of the artists, you know. It's the last one. And I'm proud when I go on to their website, and it's a site that I think it's called Music or something, and they have the interview on there, and they have it on the website, and it just warms my heart. You know, some of them, like I said, it's the last one that they've done.
Right.
And you know, and then on Philly Live Radio, you know, we play your songs. We play old school 24/7. You know, we're always playing you guys music and talking about you. Sometimes we're laughing and cracking jokes, but it's but it's all about having fun, and your music is being played.
Yeah, I know. That's a great gift to we as artists, and I'm so grateful to you and the platforms that you have that you use for our benefit, all we the indie artists and those who aren't indie artists. Some of them are actual celebrities. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's really wonderful to know that you provided that to us, and I just want to thank you personally for that. You've always been very supportive, you and Gilbert and the Doris Hall James show, and Philly, you know, everything that you do, everything that you're affiliated with, it's always been a blessing to me and my team, and we're so grateful to you for that.
Okay, then. Well, you know, I'll see you March 19th.
March 19th.
I have my ticket right here. I'm gonna show you my ticket because I want you to see. I'm telling you the truth. I print out my ticket. See?
Yes, I can't wait to see you. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you got your tickets. Because so many people are like DMing me. Look, any more tickets? There ain't no tickets. I don't own this friend. I can't do nothing for you.
No, I have that ticket.
I can't do nothing for y'all if you ain't get it. Ain't do it.
Tell me it's too late. We'll see you in May, right?
May 7th, we gonna see you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. Thanks, Mary, for everything. I know you're tired. Get some rest, and I'll see you March 19th.
All right, looking forward to it. See you then.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Joe Harris.
Hello, Doris James. How are you?
Joe, I'm doing good. I'm really doing good. It's been a hard struggle for the past couple of years. Let me turn this phone off because I'm sorry, because I don't want to keep this phone on. But it's been a hard struggle, you know, with the pandemic and everything going on.
Mhm.
But thank God I'm doing fine and you look fine. How's your family?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. You know, on the screen, something popped on my screen that says this meeting is letting me know it's being recorded.
Yeah.
And I got something that says got it.
Got it.
So
Okay.
click on got it. I got it. Okay. It was hiding your face. All right, I got it now.
Okay, yeah, we're recording these meetings so we can put them in a collaboration, collaboration, because we've done about 10 of them so far and have them ready for R&B Day
Okay.
on Saturday, March 5th. Okay.
Oh, we got a day, huh?
We got a day, Joe. What do you think about that?
About time.
Yeah, it's about time that we are recognized for the great job that we've done throughout the years. And like I've said this on other videos, and I keep repeating it, that I really didn't know we weren't recognized, because as far as I'm concerned, it's always been R&B Day, you know?
Amen.
But as I looked, my partner Gilbert Lomax and I, and we looked at the different days that's been recognized, R&B was not one. It was not one. So we're so busy doing our music and creating good music and great music for R&B, we didn't even know we didn't have a day, but now we have a day.
Okay.
Okay. So
All
are
right.
you excited about this day?
Well, it's good news.
It's good news, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's been a long time coming, but it's here. But tell me now, Joe, you are Double Exposure, part of our Double Exposure, right?
I am one of the original members.
Yes, talk about Double Exposure. Yes, go ahead. It's your time.
Hey, we've been around for a few decades. Some people try to hide it, but honestly, we started in the 60s. Honestly, I'll say it on your show. We started in 1961, so that tells it. And lets folks know how long we've been doing it. But we've been blessed to be able, we went through some changes. We lost Jimmy a couple of years ago, Jimmy Williams.
Yeah.
he's the lead voice on probably the biggest hits, 10%, My Love Is Free.
Mhm.
Charlie has been ill for the last couple of years, so he had to drop out. He couldn't perform anymore.
Oh,
He's been replaced by, you met Kenny
yes,
when we were at your studio before. You met Kenny Pitt.
yeah, I remember Kenny. He was the newest one.
Right. And then there's Lorenzo. Lorenzo is,
Lorenzo.
well, he's from the Bronx. Lorenzo Bell. You never met him.
Okay.
And those two, myself and Butch, and we're still carrying on.
That's great. That's great. I met, Butch Davis. I met him. I think we were teenagers, right? And he used to live right around the corner from me.
Okay.
He used to be singing in a group, and I was always in a group. And we said, well, what is your group doing? Oh, what's your... Then the next thing I know, Butch was gone. He left me. And I was trying to struggle to get the group together, and he was gone performing. So I'm very happy for you guys, and I'm very glad to say that, and happy to say that you guys are still performing and still keeping that music going. How has it been for you throughout the pandemic?
Well, through the pandemic, things actually really slowed down. Everything really almost kind of came to a halt because there were very few performances, if any. It was more or less dedicated to a lot of interviews, a lot of online interviews, a lot of conferences and things, mostly online. Mm-hmm. Very few, if any, in-person events. We've made a few. There have been a few, but very few. But now that hopefully this pandemic is slowing up, I have a feeling it's going to come back again when it gets cold. So I think it's a wintertime thing, personally. Mm-hmm. But if it's a summertime thing, let's rock the summer. Let's rock while we can.
Yeah. Well, during this whole pandemic thing, I didn't really want to do things online. I'm so used to doing things live. Like I teach piano. I love kids. I teach them the basics, what I could teach them. And I hired teachers to come in under Simply Music, and we teach the kids. And I've been doing it since I moved back to Philadelphia in around 2013. And so I didn't want to really accept the fact that I couldn't teach my kids anymore. But their parents were slowly but surely taking them away. So all the keyboards and everything was just sitting here. So finally, and it took years for me to say, well, I got to do something, because the kids, they kept asking me, well, Miss Doris, when are we going to do our lessons? When we were teaching piano, guitar, and I just had a little drums session. We were doing that too. So finally I gave in and I said, okay, I'm going to go online. So I did. And I just did this last month. And I have an instructor that teaches online. And then I have all my keyboards here with me. And those students that really want to come here, then I teach them too. But I had to get a grip on online because I really didn't want to do it. But I think this is the way, Joe, that it's going to be.
Well,
yep. It's the way that, everything's going to be, most of things going to be done online now.
Well, a lot of things, I think, but not permanently. You're still going to have opportunities to do live. Like I said, I believe personally it's going to be a wintertime thing.
Okay.
As the weather warms up, this thing will die down. But that'll give you your opportunity to interact with your kids.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
Well, I kind of agree with you too, because I was telling my last interview James Solomon that we don't know what to expect when it comes back to when the winter months,
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, we know that God is in control.
That's right.
So where are you guys, since you're planning for the summer, do you have any performances scheduled or anything like that?
Well, we were contacted by a few promoters for some things in May and June. We haven't heard any confirmations yet. We were contacted for the disco cruise next year, which would be actually, I guess, around January of 03. 23.
Is that with UGO? No.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's an annual cruise that they have. Now, I don't know if it happened this year or not. I don't know.
Okay.
But we were contacted about doing it, and along with a few other things. There are a lot of people that are planning things. It's just a matter of logistics and these conditions allowing them to, follow through.
Okay. Are you doing any writing? Are you in the studio?
Oh, yes, we've been doing some studio work. Yes, we have. Where we can. Again, COVID has shut down a lot of studio interaction. I've been spending some time doing some writing and handling some other plans for the group. And I've been helping my son, as a matter of fact, a little bit. My son is launched into the business as a producer, and he's like this new thing where they're writing beats and interacting with each other, and they're getting a lot of these beats placed on these commercials. If you look at a lot of TV commercials, you'll see a lot of little bits and pieces of a tune or hip hop flow or something, and it's very lucrative. You can get in the door; it's very lucrative. And that's what he's working on. So I've kind of been helping him.
Mm-hmm.
And a matter of fact, yesterday he was with me at an accountant's office. He said, "Dad, I got to talk to an accountant. I got to get some things in order." Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Look, I know he's doing good because he's not in my pocket. He hasn't asked me for no money. So I said, "All right."
Well, my son does that too. He's been doing it for a couple of years now. And it's more than just a hobby. It's a passion, and I guess he got it from his father and I, but he's been doing it too. But
That's good. I wish him luck.
Yeah. So how is Butch doing? I haven't talked to him in so long.
He's been just like me, doing the same things. Butch has been involved in some other projects of his own. Everybody is more or less kind of doing their own thing. We stay in touch. As a matter of fact, we'll see each other coming up. The R&B Society is having their annual affair. It's going to be the first one, I guess, in 2 years?
Mm-hmm. And where is this going to be?
This is going to be April 3rd in Atlantic City.
Wait, I have to write that down. April 3rd in Atlantic City?
Yeah, the R&B Music Society. You can find them online. Their affair is it's an annual black tie affair and awards dinner.
Okay.
The last time we were connected with them, we actually did a concert in Atlantic City. They sponsor a series of concerts, summer concerts in Atlantic City, and we did the middle concert. Actually, last year was only 2. It's normally 3. Last year they only had 2. We did the first one.
Okay.
And but like I said, hopefully things will get busier. But COVID just put a wrench in everybody's program.
Well, I agree with that. Do you how do you guys go about keeping your music alive as well as R&B in general? What do you do to keep it alive?
Well, we've been blessed that radio has been keeping it alive. Right now, honestly, over the years, radio, TV, a lot of online DJs.
Yeah.
A lot of people have still constantly inquire. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We constantly get communications through those medias. And I answer, that's kind of like my niche, and I answer and communicate with as many people as I possibly can. If people have questions or want to write or holler, and I try to holler back, just to, stay in touch, keep it going.
Okay. So you stay in touch with your fans and all?
Yes, most as much as I can. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Do you have a fan page like on in Facebook where your friends can go to find out all your, what you're doing, your upcoming performance?
Yes. On Facebook, it's almost everything's double exposure. On YouTube, there you can find a lot of the past videos that we've done. It shows interviews. Mm-hmm. Also a lot of photographs and interviews and such on Facebook. There are plenty. Mm-hmm. There are plenty, and we try to, like I said, try to answer as many as possible to keep people engaged. It's nice to know. It's great to know that they're still interested in reaching out.
Yes,
and I try to keep them involved. Let them know how much they're appreciated. Yeah,
and that's the truth, because without them,
it's no us.
It's no us. And so they have, when I ask people, how they like R&B, and they're so supportive, that it makes me feel good. When they say, oh, I remember when you guys did this song, and I remember when you did this song, and that 10%, remember 10%? I remember how they, that song.
Look, R&B has made a tremendous impact on our culture, on the country.
Yes.
Because when you say R&B, people think black. You look at television, listen to all the commercials. Mm-hmm. Just about anything R&B-ish is always copied.
Yeah.
It's become an integral part of American culture.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And someone was telling me, I think it was Valerie Ford. And Valerie Ford, I was asking her, she used to travel all around, tour all around. And she was saying that when they toured, that the public, fans knew their material. And I could relate to that, because when the couple times that I went on tour, when we got there, the fans knew our material just as much as we did. They could sing along with the songs. That's amazing.
That's why the promoters brought you there in the first place, was the people wanted to hear your music.
Yeah. How far R&B had traveled. So it's not, we hear it every day. So I'm thinking, oh, it's in Philadelphia and stuff. But when they say, you pick up the phone, they said, you want to come over here to Europe, and you want to come to London, or you want to come to London and you go over there and you got fans over there. Doesn't that make you feel good?
Great. That's something that has always been since the beginning of R&B, back to the blues days. Mm-hmm. You look at people like Muddy Waters or B.B. King or people like that. When Muddy Waters, matter of fact, it was spoke about in the movie Cadillac Records. When Muddy Waters went to England, he's like trying to figure out, why do they want me? When he gets off the plane and gets in the airport, he's shocked because they knew every song, everything about him. And as a matter of fact, we experienced something similar. Years ago, we had a gold record in South Africa. Never knew it until it was brought to our attention. And we arrived there, actually on my birthday, believe it or not, in Johannesburg.
Get out.
And when we were first approached about going to South Africa, now you got to remember, this is during apartheid. We were first approached about it. Our first reaction was, heck no. But we were told later that we had a gold record, and it was primarily Black folks who bought the record, primarily.
Yeah.
And we had said, hey, well, if that can happen, if they can reach out and do that and support us like that, we got to take a chance. We got to go. Mm-hmm. And when we came through customs at Johannesburg Airport, you would have thought the Jackson 5 came to town.
Oh, isn't that great?
It was awesome. It was mind blowing. We were like, this ain't real, man, but it was. And we were there a month. And the experiences we had, it was unreal. It was so many things. It just was a mind-blowing experience. There were so many things that happened. It was like going halfway around the world to go home.
Yeah, that was great. That must have been a great feeling.
Yes, it was.
Well, I'm looking forward, and I know the public and all your fans, we're looking forward to hear more about Double Exposure and some more recordings, because we just can't get enough. We want to be able to listen and hear and dance and sing along and and those songs to make us remember the past, new songs to make us remember the future. We're looking for all that from Double Exposure.
Hey, so am I.
You got to make it work.
That's it. That's right.
You got to use all your skills, all your transferable skills, and you got to make it work for us. Okay. You want Double Exposure to stay alive, and all the R&B music that they are composing, have created, to all that stuff continue to flow throughout the world, because our country need that. And I thank the group for providing such terrific music. I know I talked to T. Conway.
Okay.
And, he's always telling me about 10%. He's always talking about 10%.
Yeah, he was one of the writers on that.
He's always telling me about that song. And when I started, he gets so excited. He's really, really excited. And he's working real hard to come to create some good music for the future. So
maybe, you know what? You just reminded me of something. I gotta get in touch with him, because as a matter of fact, he's one of the people that we wanted to link up with. We were in the process of doing a few things. As a matter of fact, Bunny Sigler, before Bunny became ill, Bunny passed. Then Bruce was actually helping us with some of our projects we were doing, and Bruce passed. I said, wow, bad luck. I said, man, is this a omen or what? But we got to keep it on. We got to keep it going. And Conway was one of the people we worked with from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. He was an intricate part of, our first album.
Okay.
And has contributed some great stuff. And we've always just stayed in touch. I just haven't talked to him in quite a long time.
We'll give him a call, because he's still doing great stuff. He's still doing some good stuff.
I will.
But I want you to give everybody my love, and I want to thank you for this interview.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep R&B moving along, okay? And we'll stay in touch.
Most definitely.
All you fans out there for Double Exposure, just stay tuned, because they're gonna have some real good stuff coming out in the near future.
I want to say thanks to all the fans.
Thank you to all of them. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Doris.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Harfez Young, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Doris? Good to see you. I only see you
it's
talk
good
to you.
to see you too. And I'm looking at your place of business, and boy, all I can see is good things, all those awards and plats. And before you tell me about this, let me tell the audience about you. Okay. We are talking with Harfez Young. Harfez Young originally was from New York, and he moved to Macon, Georgia. He's a songwriter, he's a producer, he's an arranger, he's a composer. Harfez has done a little of everything when it comes to music. He knows a lot of people, a lot of musicians, and he's still working with them. And he's here today to tell us a little bit about his musical journey and what he's doing, what he's going to do, and how he's so excited about the R&B day that we've been granted March 5th. Hafez, what do you think about this day?
Oh, it's way overdue. I think March 5th is the perfect time to have a day like that.
Yes.
Right after Black History Month, and it keeps it going.
Mhm.
And we're kind of missing out on a lot of R&B these days. But then we have old songs and the artists from the past who are still making comebacks, and they're still putting it out there. And I'm sure nobody's forgotten it, and we've lived by it for years. You know,
Ah,
still living on it because of the lyrics, the music, everything is so beautiful.
yeah, the lyric, you know, like the lyrics are so meaningful in R&B. I mean,
Yeah,
listen to the lyrics, and they're lyrics that come from the heart, from the soul. You know, it's things that I'm speaking for me now that I've gone through, and I write about things. Like I always say, a lot of things I do, I write about it in song, you know, and I
Yes.
imagine that people do that. You know, the chord changes that I come up with, I sit down and, you know, pick it out on the piano, and then I take it to a professional. I say, hey, play these chords for me. Once I hear the chords and stuff put together and I got the melody, then I'm ready to develop the song, you know?
Yeah.
So it means a lot to us. And to be on the back burner all the time with R&B is just not right, because our music, R&B, I should say, is just as well, or just as good and great as any other music, you know? So
Right.
I'm glad for this day, and I'm glad we're recognizing this day, March 5th. So now tell me about things that you have done.
Oh, you got how much time you got?
Got about 5 minutes.
I say that with I'm not trying to be funny,
I know.
but I just love it. It lives in me. You know, music. I grew up with music in my home from the time I was a child. My dad was a jazz keyboard player. You know, music writer. He wrote songs with certain people. So when I got a little older, I always remember them all in the house. And my mom told me, you know, when I got a little older, where I could understand it, she said, you know, when you was small, a young kid, she said, you know, well, your dad used to like collaborate with people like Bobby Short. The Price Stock Brothers used to be over at the house singing. I remember some of it, but I was 3 or 4 years old then. And so the music was always in the house. My uncle, Reuben Phillips, was, he was a band leader and director. His orchestra played at the Apollo for over 30 years. I used to back up everybody. And he was my main guy. He used to come and bring me these little records with the London label on them, little 45s. And I used to listen to it. There was a lot of orchestration. I loved it. I fell in love with orchestration. And a lot of the times growing up, I used to spend the time on a Saturday sitting in the Apollo watching, you know, back then they had 7 day a week shows, same artists, you know, and 3 shows a day. And I'd sit there on a Saturday and see all 3 shows. Very impressed.
Mhm.
And I just said, this is something I want to do the rest of my life. And so I started doing it. I ventured out. I lived in LA for a long time working. I wanted to get involved in that. In New York, I was doing music. And I've been very fortunate when it came to that. You know, a lot of the people, I was never afraid to collaborate with people. So I've collaborated with quite a few people who are very prominent. I won't name drop, but, you know, we
Mhm.
got songs out there. And I'm just happy.
Yeah, and music is definitely your passion. I mean, how long do you spend in that studio a day? How long do you stay there?
Oh, I've been in studios from 10 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock next day. I
Mm,
mean, you know, we're depending on the work, you know, and when you love what you're doing, you don't look at the time. You just want to get the project done. So some of the people I work with was for various labels, A&M Records, Warner Brothers, some of the artists. It was an experience, you know.
Okay.
So I never worried about time.
Okay. Are you there with me, Harfez?
Yeah. So
your picture looked like it's, oh, there.
yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know.
Oh boy, what happened? I can see me.
You were frozen for a moment, but you know, when people listen to your recordings and when people see you on the stage performing, they are so happy, you know, just to see you, just to hear you, but they never realize what it took to get there, you know, to do the performances, to create the songs, to go in the studio, the work that was put behind it. And all genres of music, all people that do music, they go through the same thing. It's hard work. And I don't want the hard work of our R&B artists to be forgotten, because the product that they've done or they are doing will last forever. Because we can turn on some of the radios, and when we could buy records and all that kind of stuff, you could hear the old music, the R&B music, and those things will last forever. Right?
And it's still going on. It's still going on. The younger people back in the 80s, when they first started doing hip hop, I was in LA then working and you know, working with little artists, young hip hop people, and they would just get all their tracks mostly from the R&B song. You know, they would just record over with their lyrics. So that's how they started. Now they're doing their own beats. They're doing a little different now. I mean, it didn't just happen, but it happened over some years. But in the beginning, all the beats were R&B artist beats, you know.
Isn't that great?
Songs, actually.
Well, I think this is great for us. It's great for me and you and for all those artists. It's great for the fans, because I want to recognize this. And I think that is a day that March 5th is going to be a great day. And next year, all of our presentations and everything will be better and better and better. And we'll recognize this day from this day forward.
Yes.
This day.
Always.
Now, are you traveling at all, Harfez?
Well, I'm not traveling as a musician anymore. I mean, that was like way back. I'm a behind the scenes guy. Everything I've done has been behind the scenes, the productions and all that. But as a young teenager and a young kid, I tried to be up front, but I stopped doing it. I just felt more relaxed and comfortable, and then I didn't want to travel that much. Like the artists that do it now, wow, they're the greatest things, because traveling off for 300 days a year and all of that, my hat's off to them. I really love what they do. And it's a blessing for all of us to even hear and see what they've done.
Okay, I'm turning.
You know,
well, you know, let me turn this off, so I don't want to be interrupted. I should have turned. But you know, traveling to me, well, from the pandemic, the traveling had to stop anyway. And it's kind of starting back now. It's kind of just starting back. But I think with you, you have so many transferable skills from doing music all your life that you can sit in your studio and you can do so many things for us, music lovers, you know, sitting there from your studio.
Yes.
You know, and that's what a lot of older musicians are doing now. They're using all those skills that they gathered throughout their years of hard work with music, R&B, or whatever the genre is. And they're taking that and they're developing that in order to keep R&B music going.
Yeah. Well, I started mine. I didn't wait till I got older. I started behind the scenes when I was in my 20s because I said, I ain't going to do this like this. I'd rather do it that way. You know, I've even did a film with some films because I got interested in that. Where actually, for the first time, the fascinating thing was that it was a film that Jamar Panaka, the gentleman that did the penitentiary movies, you know, Leon and Jane Kennedy, and and it was called Street Wars. So he commissioned me and my writing partner at that time to do the music for the soundtrack. So my first introduction to that was, it was amazing to just see how you put music to certain scenes. You know, we had there was this studio we used in Marina Del Rey. It was great, and we actually did the music. His name was Michael Dunlap, and he's on the credits, but my name is not there, which I don't mind because I got paid for it, and at that time I was working on a project for a Quest record.
Now, when you
a gentleman by the name of Kid.
let me stop you right there because I want people to understand a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
You said you got paid for it. Were you hired as work for hire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But I mean, when you look at one day I pulled it up to see the movie, to see what, the credits, and I saw Michael's name there as the music director and all that, but I didn't see my name on it. So I didn't mind because like I said, I got paid for the job. And the songs.
Wait, I want you to explain something to the audience. So what is work for hire?
Oh, when you're getting paid to do a show, to do a project, you're getting paid, work for hire. Mm-hmm. It says what it says, and that's fine. But my only thing was, I didn't worry about credits or nothing. I mean, they paid me pretty good, and I was already doing some work on another project for Quest Record for an artist called Ken Potter.
Well, I've listened.
So I couldn't do it all the time, but I would give Michael the songs, the lyrics for the songs, because I basically really enjoy being a lyricist. I got a lot that I try to say, and believe it or not, when I write songs, a lot of them I haven't even experienced, but I've seen people go through it, especially certain love songs. And so, it just, the creative mind is just something, when you write, you have to, have people feel what you write. So,
well, what is the name of your company?
Coffee Entertainment Group. We have a company called Coffee Entertainment Group, and I have a few people that work with me right now in various parts of the country.
Okay.
They do different things. Some are very, we were just talking about it, all this electronic, this computer age people, they do all that stuff. I have people that do promotions, and photographers, video artists, videographies. We
So
get that done.
You connect with people all over to get your job.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to do it. You have to, spread it out. I mean, some people could do it all. I can't do it all. Or I don't want to do it all. I would rather share whatever's going on. So I don't mind doing that part. If somebody's good at this or good at that,
yes,
that's what you want all the time. Just like having a band and you have people play behind you. You want the best bass player, the best keyboard player, the best drummer, all that. You want all that good stuff making your music. And that's what's been done always. I was crazy about Philadelphia sound, that Philadelphia thing. I mean, all them strings and all that was orchestrated to music. It just
we had going on over here, and we had a lot of good people like Gamble and Huff. And we had a lot of Bunny Sigler. I mean, he was part of that whole thing.
Right.
Bunny Fantastics, Bruce Halls. We had such a good team of talented people over here in Philadelphia that all going. Now, many of those people are not here. There's still some here, but many of them are no longer here. But we still have their memories. We still have their songs that they did. And once in a while, if we don't have physical copies, once in a while we can turn on the radio and hear that song. The song never goes away. If it's a good song, it's here to stay, right?
Yes. That's why that day, March 5th, is a fantastic day to have, because of all those people that have gone before. And I always thank God, that we had that. And we have to bless it and be glad for it. Don't take it for granted. Some people take it for granted. But they laid the groundwork. Um, so all the people that came before that have gone on now, who's part of the R&B scene, we owe them a deep gratitude for just for just doing that. All the Gambling Hubs and the Barry Gordys and all of them.
Thank them so much. We thank them so much for everything they have done for the music industry.
Yes.
And they have been able to encourage others to become music professionals.
Yeah.
They've been able to, because people like you and myself, we listen to music and we say, we want to do that.
Yeah.
We
love it because we love it, Doris. You love it. I love it. And I never did any of this thing for money. That's just, hey, I just loved it. And I don't mind telling people that because they'll say, oh, you crazy. You got to get money. I'm okay. God has blessed me to give me those opportunities that most people who got money can't even do or haven't done.
Now, where you are, and you're in Macon, Georgia. And
yeah, I'm in Los Angeles. I lived there. I lived in the Caribbean. I'm from New York. I lived in, I've always traveled, but not at this time when they say, you got to go here, you got to go there. No, I never wanted to be in that position.
Well, when I think about Macon, Georgia, I think of Otis Redding, and
right.
I think that of Little Richard, right?
Yeah.
And
right.
A lot of the songs, are they still being played there?
Oh yeah, and everything else. I mean,
you have a museum, right? You said you had a museum.
There's a museum that we had, a Hall of Fame museum, and I think for a lot of it's transferred up to Atlanta. I don't know. I haven't been down on that side lately to see it, but it was there, as far as I know.
Okay. Yeah, because
I saw a picture of it the other day. I was looking at some old pictures where we had our family reunion here, and and I saw it where we had it over there at that museum. It was real nice, but it was a long time back. It wasn't a recent one, so.
Well,
it's the only memory I have. Yeah.
And then I hear you send me songs. You've been sending songs to Philly Live Radio for the past year or more. And
it's been about 3 years, Doris, at least.
3 years.
I really appreciate y'all too. I really appreciate you.
The time goes by so fast, so it could have been.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
The songs are great. Well, my point was your songs are great. And the artists that are singing those songs, they're good too. And I could feel the energy that they're putting into their songs.
Yeah.
And we do.
Well, my main guy. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You play your music on Philly Live Radio, and you are one that listen. Okay, because we play your music, and you listen, and you give us feedback when you listen.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, because most of the music that we're playing, the artist doesn't even listen to the music. They don't even know we're playing the old music that they submitted. But you know your music is being played. I want to thank you for that.
Well, I love the station, Philly Live Radio. So when I had the opportunity, when y'all first invited me to have that opportunity, I loved it. And so, I listened to them 2 days a week. It was Tuesday and Saturdays. I listened to them both. I would tell the artists who the songs were being played to listen to. Now, they used to listen when they could. My main guy was Art Madison out of Los Angeles. He's all R&B. He's just been he's been out there for quite a little while, and he's had some hits. And if people wanted to hear his music, you could go online and pull up Art Madison.
Okay.
We did EP, I guess you would call it, a little short album, Young Soul, and it's got a lot of his songs on that we did. And
if they're not being,
I love the brother. He's like my brother, actually.
If they're not played anywhere else, they are being played.
Yeah, they are.
You can tune in and they can listen to your songs and your material.
But I'm surprised that the people that you were saying about with Philly Live Radio that they weren't listening. Y'all had a great thing going, and it's still going on. And I don't know, maybe, well, especially during the pandemic, ain't nobody have an excuse because they could have been home.
Whether they're listening or not, you know, we are playing. We're trying to keep R&B alive. That's the bottom line. And we have facilities. We have the programs to do that. We have Simply Music Incorporated, which is the 1C3. We have the DHJ Indie Show, which I do every week. I just stopped like a couple months ago because I just needed some rest. But we have that program. We have Philly Live Radio. So somewhere in the universe, if they ever go to those 3 programs, they will be able to tune in and see exactly what we're doing, because it's all about them. It's about trying to keep them relevant in the day's music world, to show people that they were here, they're here now, and they're still going, they're still performing, they're still singing, they're still doing all these many, many things. They are alive, okay?
Right.
And that's the purpose of everything that we do.
Well, I watched the indie show too. I used to watch it. Well, I love that too.
It never fails, Harfez. I think I told you this, that I can go on like some of the artists' work websites. And click on, and I would see these interviews, you know, and some of these interviews are the last interviews that the artist ever did, you know. So I am proud, and we're going to keep on doing all the stuff that we do, you know. We're going to keep on. We're doing it for you.
Yeah, you got to keep on doing it no matter what, because the love overtakes all that. Just like love of a person, you know, it overtakes all of the whatever you feeling or don't feel. Love will cure it, make it, you know, work. So,
Harfez, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you so much for this interview. This interview collaborated with other videos that we're doing, and we may have like 1, 2, and 3 and all that. So I want to say thank you, and you welcome to come again. Keep sending those hits in the Philly Live Radio, because we love to hear.
I know. All right.
Artists,
I want to thank y'all too for, you know, your interest in what we do.
Yes.
And that's why I consider to support you, and I always support it. And I'm going to definitely support March 5th.
Okay.
Because I'm glad somebody started that day, you know, where we can exploit and put it out there and let people aware and get better aware of how important the R&B music has been and always will be.
Okay, then. With that, I got to go because my time's up. But look, I'll talk to you. Keep that music flowing, okay? And thank you.
Okay, will do.
Thank you, Harvey.
Y'all keep doing what y'all do. And I'm glad to be a part of Simply Music Inc.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye-bye. Winston Gay, producer, songwriter, composer, entertainer, performer. You've done so many, many things. I am so glad that you have time to join us today. You okay?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me again, Doris.
Yes.
You are one in a million.
I'm trying. Right. Now, what do you think about this R&B day?
Oh man, I am so glad that finally R&B has got its day in the entertainment world. You know, jazz has its day, and you know, there's a saying that rock is king. You know, and country has its day, and classical music, you know, seems to be everywhere. Orchestral music, and R&B seems to have taken a back seat until now. Yeah. And I am so glad that I can be part of a celebration of R&B that will be forever etched in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Yes.
And I keep saying the same thing. It's like, excuse me, I always thought R&B had a day because every day was R&B day to me. But
that's right.
But I am so glad that this is going on for us. And I'm thankful that you're able to join us. So tell me, what have you been doing? I haven't talked to you in the past, maybe 6-7 months? What have you been doing? Update us.
Well, like everyone else in the world, I've been navigating the coronavirus. When I say navigating, that's going in and out of all the possible mandates, the mask wearing, no mask wearing. It has certainly put a dent in the entertainment industry, along with every other industry, as it were, and to a point to where we don't know whether or not we can perform, continue to perform. Where can we perform? Can we stay in our country? Are we able to leave the country? Is it safe? Mm-hmm. How safe is it? There's so many variables that that's basically what everyone has been doing. Whether you're in entertainment or not, we've all been trying to navigate this thing as best as we can because it is an invisible disease.
Mm-hmm. Have you been doing any songwriting? You continue doing that, I know.
Well, the good thing about it is it doesn't stop the person who has, for one reason or another, has had to be shut in.
Yeah.
Okay, and that being shut in doesn't mean it might mean shut out, but it doesn't limit your creativity. And so what I've been doing is I know in 2020 when it first became prevalent and noised abroad in the globally rather, I took that shut in, that year and a half, and created. I wrote and I produced, I arranged, I recorded, I mastered, all the things that I have learned how to do throughout the years with music, I took full advantage of during that year and a half of incubation, so to speak.
Okay. And do you have anything new online?
Yes, I do. Online, well, during that very time, 2020, the year of 2020. And I was thinking about naming my album 2020. But I did. I took some songs that have been sitting in my catalog unproduced for a while, for years actually, and then I coupled them with new songs because I'm always writing, and I put it together, and it's an 11-song compilation, and. Whenever I do an album, I try and put a little bit of this and a little bit of that on the album, so as not to, bore the listener, and to create the element of surprise to the listening public, almost like the artist Prince. The Prince. When I first heard Prince, he was singing in a falsetto. Mm-hmm. I think his first song that became popular was called "I Want to Be Your Lover." Remember that?
Yes, I do.
I Want to Be Your Lover. And he was singing in a falsetto. But I really didn't know what his real voice sounded like. He sounded like Michael Jackson or someone. He sounded like a young Michael Jackson, and then when he subsequently came out with more and more material, I realized that he used his voice in so many different ways that he became a very attractive enigma as an R&B artist. And so that's what I try and do. I try and use all the talents and the variables, that have been installed in me. Thank you, Lord. And I try and use them to their fullest. That is to say, some people know me as a guitar player.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
And indeed, I did start out as a guitarist. But then after about 7 years, I began to open my mouth and sing. And I realized that I had a voice in there, a halfway decent voice. And then I only used that voice in a certain range.
Okay.
And then circumstances led me to have to expand on that range. And so now when I sing, if I sing something that's in an upper range, or a high tenor or falsetto, as they say, I try and make it as beautiful and as lovely as I possibly can, even to a point to where some people say, is that a man or is that a woman?
Okay.
Because I'm kind of a perfectionist that way.
And you're very talented, and I can understand it because I've listened to lots of your material, and I can say the same thing. It varies. Sometimes you're singing high, sometimes you're singing low, and it brings in, and I would say, is that Winston? Is that Winston? But that's
the same.
When God gives you a talent like that, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. The same thing applies though. If I'm singing something low in a baritone, or a bluesy, I try and make it as gritty and low as possible. It's almost like character acting. It's very much like acting. I'm coupling acting with performing and experience and talent and skill. And when you put them all together, it's a lot of fun to do it. It's very exhilarating. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad to be part of the R&B community, as it were. I do want to say that during 2020, the album that I recorded is called "Let Me In." That's the title song, and that's a song that's been baking for about 5 years in my mind. And so with that album is on my website, Let Me In, and each one of the 11 selections certainly can be listened to and purchased on my website. Yes, which is www.winstongay.com.
Okay, well, Winston, we are so happy, but before we end this, because it's just a short thing, but before we end this, can you tell us how you're keeping R&B afloat? How are you keeping it alive? I know you're doing a lot of things. Are you performing at all? How can we keep it alive? How can we do this?
That's a great question, Doris. You always ask the best questions.
I'm trying. I need to know too. I need some ideas too. Okay.
Honey, let me tell you something. You are way past trying. Okay. You have done it, and you continue to do it. And after having said that, that is actually the answer to keeping R&B alive. To keep something alive, you've got to do it. You've got to perform it. You've got to continue to partake in it and of it. And once you do that, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that your gift will make room for you. And so, rather than sit and mope and whatever, I don't know how I'm going to do this or when I'm going to do it. Just know the why you're going to do it. You're going to do it because you love it. That's why you're going to do it. That's why people do anything. They are propelled by the love of doing that thing that they do. And so as far as R&B goes, as long as there are people like yourselves, people like myself and countless others, there'll always be a platform for that type of music. And may I add this about R&B? one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. In talking to a very talented friend of mine who happens to play guitar for the legendary Smokey Robinson, I had asked him, what is his favorite music, type of music or genre? And he said R&B. And I said, okay, that's a good answer. I said, why? His name is Robert Bowles, incidentally, Robert Boogie Bowles. I said, why? And he said, Winston, R&B, or rhythm and blues, as we know it here in America, in the United States, it encompasses so many different styles of music in one. You've got certainly rhythm.
Yeah. Yes.
You've got the blues element, but then you've got the orchestral element about it, because all R&B is not necessarily executed or played with just a basic rhythm section. Once you solicit or hire an arranger, and then you bring in the orchestra, and they're playing the strings and everything, and they're playing the French horns, and they're playing and the harps and all that all these orchestral instruments are now part of the R&B. It's like putting the icing on the cake.
Yes.
And I remember some of those, many of the in the doo-wop era of the 50s, the late 40s and into the 1950s, when groups like the Drifters came out, or the Platters, Little Anthony and the Imperials, and many of these groups had orchestration behind them because they were part of larger record companies like Atlantic and Capitol. Aretha Franklin in her early days, Dionne Warwick. So these these record companies certainly would solicit orchestras to sweeten the R&B. And so consequently, I said, yeah, Robert, you are exactly right. Rhythm and blues music is not just, is not just a basic rhythm section. As we know it now, it's gritty, but it's gorgeous as well. It's gorgeous. And
it tells a story.
Absolutely.
It goes from the beginning of the story to the climax, which I call a bridge, and then it goes right on into the end of the story. It tells a story. It's heartwarming. You can listen to it and you can say, I was doing this at that time, that at this time. And it's something that I can't get out of my system. And so I keep trying to keep it going by creating platforms and creating events and stuff like that, because I want you guys to always be given credit for all the things that you have done. You see, my partner Gilbert and I, we talked about this years ago, how, we hear about the top artists like the Patti LaBelles, we hear about the OJs, we hear about all those, sensational, great artists, but we never hear about maybe some of the songwriters or the musicians who played and stayed up late at night in the studio and tried so hard to make every song that was a hit. And we wanted to have a platform in order to do that. And this is the platform that we have created along with the radio station in order to keep the music going. And like when I told you today, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep right on trying. I'm trying here and trying. That is what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. I think that Motown was a little bit ahead of us. Yeah. Although I believe that I think it was called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, when it talked about the background musicians and everything. I think the person that actually had that idea was from Philadelphia. Okay. Absolutely. I think the author of that book, or the authors of that book, of that movie, were from Philadelphia. And so yes, I agree with you 200%. the musicians that made that Philly sound great, they should never be forgotten.
Never.
They are and were a part of R&B, an integral part of R&B. And their names are forever etched into the annals of R&B. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Winston, we got to go. We got somebody else coming on, but thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for continuing that musical journey. You're going to continue that. And thank you for being with us today. Thanks a lot.
You're quite welcome. Listen, I got 3 words for you in parting.
What's that?
Let me in.
Okay. Is that the name of your new CD?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Okay. All right. See you later. Thank you.
See you later. Thank you, honey.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Listen to the